Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I want us to redefine victory, or at least some of us. Some of us may be in the right frame of thinking, or what I would consider a more healthy, balanced approach. And then some of us may have our ideas, thoughts, and intentions on what victory will look like, may be in the wrong area. We may be focused on the wrong things here. So I just want to talk about that because I do understand, after dealing with such a toxic person who has done so much, who has inflicted so much hurt and pain and devastation, and usually, in multiple areas of a person's life, and it doesn't even matter if it was a brief relationship. A lot of devastation can occur in just even a short amount of time. So, when you come in contact with such a dark, nasty, depleting, energy vampire, you feel shattered. You feel shattered. You feel broken. And we think about, what will make me feel better? What is victory for me in this situation? What will make me feel happy? But I'm going to tell you, it's not a lot of times what we think it might be. As far as, what victory for me is, seeing that narcissist hurt. They're already hurt, whether they're showing it to you or not. And this minimally, on a subconscious level, they are hurt and broken. This is why they are spilling out this energy through everyone that crosses their path, or or the people that they're targeting. Because yes, some of them are covert and they may appear nice and friendly to the public, and then behind closed doors, these people are seeing the monster, behind the mask. Okay. But yes, to some people, victory is going to be, I want to see that narcissist downfall. I want to see them on their worst day. I want to see something horrible happen to them as a result of what they've done to me. Sometimes that is what victory looks like. To some people, victory might be feeling like they're getting back everything the narcissist took. Like, let's say, there was some financial abuse going on. Okay, well, victory to me is getting this narcissist to repay me in some sense, or just getting the narcissist to repay back. So, one person is thinking a victory is seeing them be hurt, seeing them get crushed and devastated, see horrible negative things happen to them. And another person, well, victory to me is I want them to repay, what they've done to me. I want apologies. I want remorse. And if you understand the way narcissists are set up, this is something that they can't sincerely do. They would be stepping out of narcissism to be able to genuinely do this for you. Now, when they're hoovering you and giving you that false sense of an apology, that false sense of change, a false sense of reparations, and we all know what happens there. So your victory obviously is not going to come out of that either, because that's going to be fake and phony. So in that sense, you're wanting something that person can't give you. And another thing that you need to understand about that is, what, I'm going to save that for another video, because it's a brilliant point that I'm going to point out, but I find it so worthy that I'm going to make a whole video. So stay tuned for that, on why the narcissist cannot apologize to you sincerely. Okay, I'm going to make a video about that, because a lot of people struggle with that, and it's a bump in the road. When a person has done so much to you, you want them to understand this. Like, you want them to feel your pain and to see or realize what you've done and the domino effect it's had on your life, the consequences, the pieces that you were left to pick up. And, if it has burdened your life or made it harder or made it take longer, they came and crossed your path and, made things harder for you in that sense. So sometimes victory is trying to get that person to repay you. But, I just debunked why that is, typically a bad idea with a narcissist outside of a legal courtroom. And even that, could come with its own pros and cons depending on what the situation is. So what should your sense of victory really be? What should it really look like? Because if we're so focused on, getting it all back or having them repay you or seeing their downfalls, we're still being external with it. And that victory needs to be an internal thing. So victory should look like healing. That's really the true victory. Healing and taking those lessons and transforming in your life. That is the real victory. That is the real victory. Okay, doing your shadow work, becoming your best version. That is the victory. Taking the wisdom, really learning it. That is the true victory, guys. So, if that hasn't been your focus, I'm going to highly recommend and encourage you to shift. Because let me tell you something. When you are stuck in those other types of realms where you want to see their downfall, you're trying to get something from them, number one, you're giving up your control. That's number one. Because if your victory is waiting on someone else to do something for you, you might be waiting forever, especially if it's from a narcissist. Okay, so that's number one. You've given up your control. And number two, that is such a negative, low vibration to be on. And I understand. I have been there. I've been peed off. Okay, I've been furious. I've been humiliated. I've felt low. I've felt, I've had to start over, okay? Start completely over. Lost everything I've had. I've been in those shoes. I've been in those circumstances. I've felt violated in the most inhumane ways. Abused in every way possible. So I know the hurt and the pain that can come behind that through the healing process. And that toxic energy that you may initially be dwelling in the early process. And for some of you, dwelling into it years later, but even though it's been decades and years and all this time later, you're still in the beginning because you have not moved past that phase. Because time can help, but it also depends on your perceptions, your frame of mind, of course. So, a shift, we have to make that shift because you can spend decades in your ignorance. You really can. And it doesn't serve you. Okay. So, sometimes we need to redefine. We need to have that shift. We need to have a different focus. Because once you decide, and I made it today on a support group, I made this stat, and it was yesterday actually. I made a stat and I said, what happens in the moment when you decide to actually let go of the hurt and be happy? Because it is a decision. We feel like it's not because we're imprisoned, we're being held hostage by our emotions and by our perceptions and by our ideas of justice and injustice, by our tunnel vision of only focusing on the negative and loss and lack. But, we can actually make those decisions. Oh my gosh, when we let go, there's a bunch of weight that comes off of you, and you can really you can focus on what's good. You can actually do that. Am I telling you to be in denial about things that that have happened to you or what you've experienced and have gone through? No, what I'm saying is through the natural progression of healing, you can get to a point where you don't have to be lingering and dwelling there. You've took the lessons. You've basically made it come full circle in your mind as well. You understand. So now, we don't have to keep reliving it. We don't have to, keep having that negative energy towards that person. Because what you're going to see is they were a catalyst. They were a catalyst. And it did jolt your spirit and your soul. Might have turned your world upside down to get your attention on some things. But in its best light, it could make you a better person. A better person. Okay, guys, so this isn't going to be a long video. I like to get straight to the point, but sometimes we do need to redefine what victory is, and have these realistic expectations. Okay? Victory is not it's not feeling numb about the whole thing. That's not what we want. Numb is not having feelings or emotions or, is being indifferent, basically. That's not what it is. You need to feel through the healing process. You need to get it out of you. You need to cry when you feel like you need to. You need to yell when you need to feel like it. You need to, let that out and not repress. But when you've experienced a trauma, it's going to be, I'm not going to say there's never could be a time where you don't feel anything. It's never going to be, a happy thing. It was a negative experience, but you can, once you elevate in your enlightenment, you shift on it, or you look back down on that time in hindsight and with your new wisdom or with your growth, with, how your mind has expanded, you'll begin to see that situation differently, and you'll even begin to become more self-focused about it. Okay? But I don't want to digress here at the end of the audio. But, for some of you out there, I just want you to just consider what is your focus here and what is victory in this whole situation. Okay, you're a survivor of narcissistic abuse. Now, how do you get the victory out of this situation? What is going to make you feel like the victor now? Okay? And trust me, it's going to have everything to do with you and not them. Everything to do with you and not them. Okay? All right, guys. So if this video resonates with you, you can go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't done so already, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I have a support group on Facebook, Lakia Reflection and Progression Crawford. I have books, guys, on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and Create Space to help you through, healing from toxic relationships, doing your shadow work. All that information is in the link, guys. I do offer coaching over the phone. I do Skype, I do FaceTime, and I do email coaching as well. Writing can be very therapeutic. So, don't count out email coaching. If you go to LakiaCrawford.com and hit that coaching link, you will get all the information and the fees. All right. But generally speaking, you just email CoachLakia@gmail.com about setting up or scheduling your coaching session. All right. And with that being said, guys, it's going to be all right. But when you decide to walk in a positive light, just watch how that changes your life. I am telling you. You just focus on yourself, making the best of everything, turning your lemons into lemonade, and focusing on what's good. It can really shift your life for some of you who have been stuck in a rut or stuck in bitterness or stuck in anger. I have a playlist, guys, that deals with narcissistic abuse and anger. All right. So I do recommend that you check that out. I believe is it a 3-part or 4-part series that I did on anger very specifically. Okay. Because, in a grieving process, you're going to feel that. and especially when someone who has so many offenses towards you. All right, guys. And also, for the days that you're feeling triggered, I might as well talk about this playlist as well. I have the motivational playlist for survivors of narcissistic abuse, over 30 videos, and there to help you, on those days that you're feeling triggered, or, you feel like you've fallen into a dark space, you're feeling negative, you're feeling sad, about the trauma that you experienced. All right. So always welcome to check that playlist out and any of the other ones. And you can like and definitely share any and all of my videos. All right, guys. So until next time, reevaluate what the victory really is so that you can actually get the real victory over this situation. All right. So until next time, guys, please take care.